Hello, and welcome to a special program, SCF in Studio. I'm Charles Clapsaddle, Station Manager for Manatee Educational Television, and it's our great pleasure to have with us today Dr. Carol Prosfield, President of the State College of Florida, to talk about some of the great programs that SCF has continued to do here in Manatee County. Dr. Prosfield, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate you taking the time out of a very busy schedule, and we always enjoy talking to you about all the great things that are doing at SCF.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, and I always enjoy talking about all the great things that are taking place at SCF.
Well, in today's program, we want to concentrate on some of the great music and vocal programs, and you've brought two very special guests with you. Can you go ahead and introduce our guests for us?
Sure. I'd like to introduce Melody Dickerson and Robin Bell.
Robin and Melody, thank you so much for joining us. You know, for those in the community who know about the music and vocal programs at SCF, they know that, you know, it's quality, really first-class programs that you offer to students and to the community. And we want to talk in detail about it. But first of all, I'd like to get the kind of the overview about the SCF music program. And Robin, we'll start with you. What do you really offer for students and the community throughout your music programs?
That's a great way to frame that question, because I like to think about our music program as three facets: what we give to the students, what we provide for the community members as far as any kind of music training they like, and then what we provide for community members as audiences to come to our performances. So we offer music teaching opportunities for educational purposes, like for transcripts and transfer programs. We offer educational opportunities for community members to take private lessons on different instruments, and we offer wonderful concerts for our community members to come and enjoy.
So it's really diverse of all the things that you really offer. And you know, the students, you know, have come into a program that's really in-depth with great instructors and wonderful kind of effort, you know, that the SCF faculty provides. But on top of that, all of these performances are open to the public as well.
They are.
And we want to talk in detail about some of the great things. Now, Melody, you've been involved with the vocal program at SCF for many years, and it's really a wonderful thing. If anybody's ever been to a graduation and seen you conduct the choir there, I mean, it's really kind of inspiring.
Thank you so much. I'm actually beginning my 11th year here at State College of Florida, and it's been a wonderful journey during my time here. As Robin said, we have a fantastic faculty, and those faculty members have really reached out into the community through a lot of recruitment and performances in the community, which that way we can reach students and community members as well. So I think we have a great faculty, and then of course that draws in wonderful students.
And you do have a great, you know, it's just a real talent pool of people that are involved in both the orchestra and the symphony and the jazz and the music. I mean, it's just a wonderful pool of talent from this and many other communities around the state. Tell us a little bit about the extent of the musical groups that students can participate in, both from the vocal perspective as well as from the orchestra perspective.
Well, I'll start. We have 8 different ensembles. I'll talk about my ensembles that I'm responsible for, and then I'll let Robin talk about the instrumental. We have 2 choirs, concert choir and chamber choir. Concert choir is open to anyone. We have about 65 students who are members of that, and then our chamber choir is the one that you see performing all around in the public, and a small audition group, and they're fantastic students, very committed for that. We also have a musical theater ensemble, and that was started when I came here, and now we kind of have a reputation for putting on some pretty big musicals, and of course in conjunction with the rest of the department. So that is the vocal offerings, and I'm going to turn it over to Robin for instrumental.
And what's great about what Melody talks about with the choral program is that our instrumental program, we often team together to put on several performances. So I'll talk about that. But we offer a symphonic band and a symphony orchestra. So the band is woodwinds, brass, and percussion. And then the orchestra is strings with some of the woodwind, brass, and percussion. But oftentimes we combine those together so that the students get a full, they fill up the entire stage. Neil, we have a total of 67 members in our band and orchestra combined, which is quality breeds quantity, and that's what's happened in our case. We also offer 2 jazz ensembles. There's a full jazz band, and then there is a jazz combo, more like a small group. We have a guitar ensemble that Rex Willis conducts, and they're wonderful to listen to those guitars, the work that they do, and he composes a lot of the music for them.
Well, having had the opportunity to work with Rex Willis and that, we can vouch for how talented he is and what a great asset he is to the college.
And you know, Mark Menino does our jazz
Mark Menino
bands,
is
and he was a jazz guitarist in the Air Force, so our students get a wealth of information from him.
Right.
Well, one of your biggest fans is sitting right here, and that's Dr. Prosfield, who, you know, really sings the praises of both the vocal program and the musical program as well. And you've performed not only at the graduations, but, you know, you were part of the inauguration for Dr. Prosfield as well, which really gave it that great kind of celebratory feeling throughout the whole event. And you had the opportunity to perform at the Van Wezel for the last graduation, sitting in the orchestra pit, which had to be kind of a thrill for you as well.
Oh, the students were so excited. You know, when I first said we're going to play graduation, they're like, oh, and I go, but we get to perform Van Wezel. And the whole spirit of the room went up. It was very exciting.
Yeah, that is exciting. Now, are there scholarships available for students to go into both the vocal and the orchestra?
Absolutely. And if I can just kind of amplify on what Robin was saying, we've been very grateful for Dr. Prosfeld's support of our department, and I think that's really given us a boost. And I didn't want to leave out Dr. Charles Turan, who many of you know in the community has been here very many years and really is the one who has kept things going and got the impetus for this program to really take off a number of years ago. And when I came on board, I had been at different schools where we had scholarship days where we would have auditions, so to speak. And so we tried that out here, and it's been very successful. Every spring in April, we have a day where we invite students from the area high schools and beyond to come and audition for us. Since Robin has been on board, she has done a fantastic job with getting out into most of the high schools in Sarasota and Manatee County, I think pretty much every one of them, on a regular basis, and that of course helps draw students in. And then, as Robin said, quality breeds quantity. And then students hear about that, and they hear about the options for scholarships. You don't have to be a music major. You just have to have a talent level and a commitment to our program to be in one of our ensembles.
Well, which raises the question for you, Dr. Prosfield. You know, the emphasis on music and vocal and the arts at SCF has been pretty extensive. You know, your leadership has kind of provided the spark for, you know, Robin and Melody to kind of outreach to the entire community to pull the best and the brightest into SCF for degrees.
Well, truly, our faculty are the inspiration, and as both of my colleagues have said, it's quality breeds quantity, and the quality is our faculty. And the proof is in the output. You look at the competitions at the state level, and we routinely bring home a lion's share, or more than our proportional share, let's say, of awards. And that's because of the expertise, the quality, and the passion that our faculty have. So it's easy to be an advocate for that and a spokesperson for that. In terms of what it does for our students, I think being able to learn the skills of communication, and that's what we're doing through the arts, is communicating, to stand up in front of a crowd, to perform, to take a student who's never sung in front of a group before and give them the confidence to do it and do it well is a transformational thing, and those are skills that are transformational and that they'll be with them for the rest of their life. So you cannot separate education and the arts because they're the same. We're creating that student of the world, and that's part of what it takes to be a whole person.
And one of the key things I think that really contributes to that is the number of concerts that the SCF does throughout the year, which is really that kind of community outreach, which is, you know, like a hallmark of your administration, to have that kind of community spirit. And you do a number of concerts, and I'd like to take a few moments to talk a little bit about some of the great things that you have coming up. And before we get into the music thing, you have a very wonderful program that's kicking off on September 19th. It's called The Art of the Wedding. And who would like to talk to us about that? Dr. Prosel?
I'd be happy to tell you a little about that.
It really sounds exciting.
It is going to be very exciting, and I hope everybody watching will make the time to go see that. We're trying to present the wedding costume as a theater production, if you will. The individuals who wore those gowns and those suits from 1850 to 2014. So we're transcending three different, the 19th, the 20th, and the 21st century.
How cool is that?
And trying to tell a story with each ensemble, with each outfit, the bride and the groom, and a little bit about that person. But what was happening in society at that time, and in culture, and in the arts, and tell a story with each of those. And many people from the community, many of our faculty and staff have contributed their wedding attire, as have I.
So. That's exciting. I think that'll be a great thing, and that kicks off on September 19th, and it's a reception for at the event. But the exhibit will go through December. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Well, I think everybody should at least see it. The previous exhibits that the held have been wonderful. They're very imaginative and artistic and very unique, and SCF brings that to the community. So we're really looking forward to seeing The Art of the Wedding.
I'm here with Dr. Carol Probstfield this evening at the opening of The Art of the Wedding Costume, our latest exhibit here at the Neal Auditorium and our art gallery. And we've got a dreary Friday night, but we've got a really exciting crowd here, and there's really a big buzz around with all the beautiful costumes, the beautiful dresses that we've got. And Dr. Probstfield, I know one of the college's goals for us this year is partnerships. How does an event like this really reflect that core value?
Well, it's exactly what this is all about. We're a community college at the core of what we do, and this is a collaboration between the college, employees at the college, family and friends of those employees, plus the community, all who donated their gowns, their outfits, their wedding attire for this event. So at the core of it, this is what we do, this is what partnerships are all about, and a collaboration between the college and the community. I think that's exciting.
You know what's really fun? We've got generations here, and in fact even one of the dresses we'll probably see at some point tonight has been worn by 3 or 4 generations. How do activities like this really engage us across a variety of generations? We've got young kids here, we've got people who probably aren't planning to come to a community college or a state college, but what does an event like this mean for them?
Well, again, I think it opens the doors of our community college to our community, and that appeals to all generations. As students at the college, we have a collegiate school that ranges from the 6th grade all the way up to our Core 50+ program, where we're engaging people back into the academic environment to retool or just gain additional skills or attributes that they want to add to their life. So this is just one more opportunity to say, come here, there's something here for everybody, whether it's an art show like we're experiencing this evening, theater production, music production, athletic activities, or an academic course.
So again, this is another way we put the community in the community college.
Exactly.
So I have to ask now, do we have a Carol Probstfield outfit here this evening?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. The outfit that I wore when my husband and I got married 15 years ago and his suit are out front in the display. So maybe we'll have a chance to see that later as well.
This is a good example of how our music program teams with other aspects of the college, because at that opening night reception, we have a string quartet playing wedding music. We have a brass ensemble playing wedding music. We have a trumpet player and an organist playing wedding music. So
piano and jazz. It's all different things. And this shows our great collaboration with our colleagues in theater and the art gallery, which we do many things with them. And this year we have combined to do a brochure with music, theater, and art gallery. And we're working together to further these partnerships, because it's the students experiencing different things, and it is the experience of the arts. And we like to work together because it's the layering effect that students start to get this feeling. And whether they go on to major in music or not, which many of our music students do, it doesn't matter. They can be part of the program. They can be part of the experience.
And sometimes, as from a faculty position, I get my eyes open because I know these students in our music building and in our music classes, and then I'll go see a theater production, and they're up on stage.
It's the same young people.
Same students. I'm like, wow, they were just in the musical last week, and here they're doing this. We have truly amazing students in our art programs.
Right, or they have their graphic designer, or we see their works displayed somewhere, or we see them dance, and it's very thrilling.
It's got to be rewarding for you as instructor to see, the extent of talent, but also their involvement. And as Dr. Probstfield says, it just adds to that educational experience that they're experiencing all of the great things that a college can offer.
And we feel like we're really trying to hold them to a high level, to the level of the highest that they can be. We are pretty demanding in what we ask them to do, but we feel the students rise to that occasion. And that's why our groups are regularly asked to come into the community and to perform for different events and for different groups, because they've seen the quality in our students.
And a great indicator is of the fact that you have so many people that come to these performances, either at Neal or other locations. But I want to take a few minutes, if we can right now, to talk about the wide variety of programs that are coming up between now and in this fall season, and to talk a little bit about it and why it's important for people to come out and enjoy these. And the first thing that we want to talk about, which is coming up aside from the art of the wedding, is a faculty recital with Anna, and please help me with the name.
Aza Torskayeva.
Okay, and thank you for helping me with that. I appreciate that. And that's on September 28th. And tell us a little bit. Excuse me, you are 25th. You're
yes, September 25th.
And we have that up on the screen so people can see it.
Right. Aza is she is our newest instructor, a recent graduate of the University of South Florida and came here from Russia. She is really an amazingly talented young pianist and has won already a number of competitions. But not only that, she's already a super motivator for our students. They just love her in their lessons. So.
And she played the Mozart Piano Concerto with the orchestra.
That's right.
Last spring.
How exciting was that for
it was
the
exciting.
students, too?
Oh, the students. We were rehearsing, and then she came in to play with us, and it was like, wow.
Yeah. She's a force of nature, and we're very thrilled to have her on our faculty.
You will miss out if you don't attend this concert.
And people can find out information by going to the Neal box office, and we're going to put that information up on the screen. Tickets are nominal, what is it, $8?
$8
which
for
is
general
to see
admission.
a world caliber
Right.
pianist to do that. It's wonderful.
And $4 for students and faculty members. So really, it's
So we would encourage people to try to attend that on September the 25th, and we're going to have that information up on the screen. But then we want to move in from October the 7th, which is your Fall Festival of Music, which is a big event for the college. And tell us about that and the full gamut of what you're going to be offering there.
Well, it's all of the ensembles, except for the musical theater ensemble. You get to see a little snippet of what we've done in the 6 or 7 weeks of class up to that point. And each group performs for about 6 to 8 minutes, and it's kind of just a little potpourri of what we do, and it's always very impressive to see what the students have accomplished in about 6 weeks.
How exciting is that to do that? And that's like a full concert, and that's on the October the 7th, again at Neal. Ticket prices are only
$8.
I mean, what a great
How are we
performance.
even surviving?
And all of that money does go back into our music fund so that we can buy more music and instruments and just have our program continue to function.
And even though, you know, there's a great community interest in what the program does, there's a lot of people that don't realize that these concerts are going to ongoing, so you're welcome the public to attend, families, seniors perhaps, other students perhaps, students interested in coming to the college, so they can see the caliber and the quality of the performances.
Neal seats about 880.
About 800.
About 800, and we would like 900 people to come to our concerts. That would be fantastic.
Well, I think, you know, when people see some of the caliber of these performances, you know, you should sell a subscription service where they can buy 3 or 4 at a time.
We tried that last year.
Yeah, we did. But, you know, what always generally happens, it's every single concert. Someone will come up to me at the end of the concert and say, I was invited, I happened to see it, I didn't know anything about this.
Had no idea.
Had no idea. And here they come, and we're going to come back and bring friends. And Dr. Probstveld has been terrific in bringing in some people from the community and having them come as her guests. So that's always
And we
great.
hope to, you know, tape some of these things too, so maybe
We'd love
provide
for it.
you some information to the community at large, but not only the, you know, the variety of the programs that you do, but also the great quality and the enjoyment that a community can
Right,
get out of
and
this.
we're handicap accessible. We have, you know, it's very ease of getting in and out and people there to help you, and it's just always a joyous time. I think our students always are very happy to be there, and we would be even happier if Neal was filled every single performance, and it really should be.
And I think that's something we'll work towards. But one of the big events that's coming up, and I'd like for you to talk a little bit about it, is the West Side Story. And this is you know, a much beloved musical theater that, you know, people have, and the college is putting this on October the 24th and 25th and October the 26th at Neal. And we're going to have some graphics up about that during the show as well. Tell us a little bit why you chose West Side Story as
Well, every year I kind of go through the process to pick out a musical, and people always ask me, well, how did you pick out the musical? And I can't really tell you, except I get a feeling. I don't know how to tell you, but I kind of assess the students that I think we'll be having coming back, and maybe anticipate some that are coming. And it's, you know, the old adage, if you put it out there, they will come. We have about 37 students involved in this production.
Wow.
And it's one of the biggest dance productions that we've ever done. We have 2 choreographers, Kelly Burnett and Stacy Craddy, who are helping, and we also have Preston Boyd, who is from the community, and he's involved in the production and also helping with fight choreography, along with Jim Thagard. So it's like takes a village, and Rex Willis music directing, and Robin helping recruit students for the orchestra. But I am so impressed with our students and what they're doing. It is a very, very fast-paced time to learn this music and to stage it. And
so I would encourage people to go to the Neal Performing Arts website or find out.
Exactly.
And to do some, you know, and order some advance tickets for it. Because it's only a 3-day performance.
3 days.
And you have 2 in the evening and a matinee. So it would be a wonderful opportunity for people throughout the community to come and enjoy West Side Story.
Right,
so.
And it really involves our whole entire department. Students, even if they've never done this before, all of a sudden they're stage managing, they're running lights, they're running tech, they're running this, all fully supported by our Neal Performing Arts staff.
Terrific.
But it's the students that get the experience.
And I think it'll be a, you know, highlight. And you choose one of these every year.
Every year, it's our big musical.
Okay. Well, I think West Side Story. Everybody knows at least one song from West Side Story.
Yes, Leonard Bernstein. You just can't go wrong with that one.
Well, let's go through some of the other programs that you have coming up.
Sure.
And the next one that we see in your brochure here is your master class with John Fedchuk.
Yes.
And he's a jazz trombonist. How great
Well,
is that to have for the orchestra?
He is not a jazz trombonist, he is the jazz trombonist. He leads the New York Big Band, New York City Big Band. And I was at the Florida Bandmasters Association meeting just a couple of weeks ago, and I announced to the area high school band directors that who was coming, and they all said, where do we get a bus to come to that? It's a 1 o'clock master class, but all of the jazz people in town are super excited that John is going to be doing a master class for our students. And whether you play trombone or not, if you're just a jazz enthusiast.
Right.
What a great opportunity to come see him. And
He's
that's
like
gonna
a
be
superstar.
And that's going to be at Neal Performing Arts Center on November the 5th. At 1 p.m. So it's a great opportunity for people who are just general jazz fans to come see a master.
And that one is free.
That's free. So how can you even pass that up?
You can't afford not to.
What a great opportunity.
Right.
So let's move on, if we could, to the Chamber Choir, which is coming up, and that's on November the 9th. And you're doing a unique location of this. You're actually going to Sarasota for a performance.
Yes.
Tell us about that, Melody.
We've been invited to have a concert at St. Boniface Episcopal Church. Neil Page is the director there, and several of our students sing in his choir, and he is very impressed with the group, and so we're doing a whole hour concert. We've regularly partnered. Last year we were with Gloria Musici. Dr. Joseph Holt will be doing another performance with them next year. And from that, a number of invitations were offered to us this year. So that's going to be a very special location with a very special group.
And people from Sarasota can just walk down the street, go to St. Boniface, and enjoy a wonderful concert.
Location, yes.
We want to go on because I don't want to leave anything out here, we're kind of a little short on time. But I want to talk about another faculty recital with Martha Lopez, and then follow that by a master class with Clea Blackhurst. And tell us a little bit about both of those.
Well, I'll just, Martha Lopez is a longtime faculty member. She sings in our area, all over the Sarasota-Bradenton area. And she is a wonderful soprano. She will be accompanied by Lorraine Myers, who's also on staff. And songs from around the world. Martha's a terrific performer, and encourage people to come hear her. We've also partnered with the Artist Series of Sarasota, Lee Doherty Ross, John Fisher. A lot of people in our community will know their names. And they are having Clea Blackhurst come in. She did a one-woman show, which she's very famous for, about the music of Ethel Merman. She's done many, many other things. She's a belter. She's an entertainer. She's going to do concerts with the Artist Series. And we've been fortunate enough to have her in a master class.
What a great combination of all the things that you're bringing together, But one of the among the more interesting things that or that are on your repertoire coming up is the symphonic band and symphonic orchestra conducting music that's on Jewish themes. And Robin, you've been instrumental putting this together. Tell us a little bit about that. And that's at the end of November, right around November 20th at Neal again. Tell us a little bit about that, because I think that's something that's kind of unique, and you don't see that very often.
Well, I was approached about a year and a half ago by a man who snowbirds in Palmetto. His name is Dan Ritz, and he wrote a piece of music called Israel, a Symphonic Poem. And he just wrote it. His daughter is an oboist in Ohio. That's where they spend their summers. And he goes, I wrote this piece and I put it on the computer, and I was wondering if you might play it. And I thought, what a great seed for a concert on a music festival on Jewish themes. And so we have a local composer. He's going to be at the concert. He's going to talk about his piece. That's very exciting to the students, actually meet a real live composer.
Oh, yeah.
And so, and along with that, we're having a soloist do Schindler's List. We're playing a piece by Adam Gorb called Yiddish Dances. So it's good, very fun, upbeat kind of music. Another piece called Symphony No. 1 by Daniel Bukvich, which is called Dresden 1941. It's a emotionally powerful field piece. Several Jewish and Israeli themed pieces of music. And for our diverse students in our orchestra, this has been a great opportunity to delve into some music that they don't normally get to play.
And I think it's really exciting. I think one, because it's very unique and it's types of music that don't really get that much attention, throughout things. And for you to undertake that, I think it's wonderful. And I think it'd be a great opportunity for the entire community to take advantage of somebody, performing all of these different types of music.
It will be a celebration indeed. The music runs the gamuts of the human emotions.
I want to take a couple more minutes and we want to talk about the next faculty recital, which is Felicia Brunel. Tell us a little bit about Felicia, because this is pretty extensive.
Felicia's our violin teacher at the college. She also plays in the Sarasota Orchestra, and she's the concert master for the Pops Orchestra here in Bradenton and Sarasota. And she is combining with an organist, and they're doing with the neo organ recital of violin.
And that's, I
organ.
think, is wonderful. For those people in the community who haven't heard the organ, it's really a wonderful thing, and to have the opportunity to do that with a violinist is going to be terrific.
Felicia does a recital for us every year, and when she came to me and said, I want to do this with the organ, I was just so thrilled. This is going to be a very special concert.
Well, I think, and I want to talk briefly about, you two have holiday concerts as well. You have the Winter Wonderland concert, and then you have your jazz band concert. And what a great time, of year to kind of bring out that kind of celebratory, music and involve the community in participating.
We do, and I also want to mention that we are having a partnership concert on Halloween.
Yeah,
we
that's
call
right.
it the Spooktacular, and it's going to be in Neal. We're partnering with the theater and dance in this. We'll have orchestra, we'll have singers, we'll have some pumpkin carols, we'll have trick-or-treating, we'll have the organ, and all sorts of fun things. And
costumes required.
And
I believe it's 2 canned
bring
goods.
a canned good, and you get to
Terrific.
come in, and
It's
we're
at
doing
6
that for the
o'clock
children.
rather than our
6:30.
normal
6:30.
6:30 rather than our normal 8 o'clock time.
Right.
The Spooktacular, is that going to become an annual event?
Well, we don't know, but again, a chance to hear the Neal organ played
think it'd
with
be
some
fascinating.
traditional music. And I just want to mention, in terms of that, just a little sneak peek ahead maybe to next spring, because we have something very, very special that Robin and I are taking on.
You heard it here first on METV. What would that be?
We are going to perform with the SCF Orchestra and Choirs, Carl Orff's Carmina Burana.
Oh, well, what a...
And that will be on Sunday, March 1st as part of the Sundays at Neal
series.
The SCF Foundation sponsors that series.
So this is a huge undertaking for our department, but we feel that we're
Absolutely.
ready.
We have made the strides.
And we've just kind of touched the surface on some of the great things that the music program does. And we would invite both you, Melody, and Robin back. Maybe some more detailed information. Maybe meet with some students and other faculty to talk about the great things that you continue to do. The thing that's clear here is that you have a wide and diverse interest, not only in the success of your students, but also in providing that music and entertainment for the community at large. And that, I think, is what makes the music program so successful and so involved with so many different aspects of music. Just the things that we touched on today, it's pretty extensive.
It is, and in addition to our 5 full-time faculty members, we also have over 20 adjunct faculty members who teach all the many different instruments and voice, and we have people with world-class, literally, credentials.
And that's a really important.
And that is so important. And also, all of our faculty members, we're still out there performing in the community. Robin is the conductor of the Sarasota Pops. All of us regularly perform, whether instrumentally or vocally. And I think the students seeing that is also, an impetus for them to continue.
And how do you find the time to do all these things? Because it's pretty extensive to what you're doing.
Summer's off.
We don't have a life other than it's because it's what you love, and I think
and it truly shows, and it's very evident. That
when
you're dedicated.
When your hobby is your career, there's never a downtime. It's a seamless connection, and I have the best job in the world.
Well,
we do.
I want to thank both of you for doing it. Dr. Prosville, SCF is very fortunate to have women of this caliber and this dedication and this commitment, to provide not only the best education, but the best opportunities for your students. It's a wonderful thing to have people of this caliber.
Well, we are very, very blessed at the State College of Florida to have both Robin and Melody with us, but the entire staff. And their energy, their creativity, And again, I'll say this repeatedly, their passion for the student experience really transcends what we do to a different level. And every year it gets better and better.
Well, we're going to be right back, and we're going to talk a little bit more about some of the other great things that are happening at SCF. Melody and Robin, thank you so much for joining us, and we hope to have you back and see you perhaps in performance over at Neal.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for having us.
And we'll be right back. And welcome back to SCF in Studio. I'm Charles Clapsaddle, Station Manager for Manatee Educational Television. And on this segment of the program, we're going to take a little bit more detailed look at SCF and some of the great things that Dr. Prosfield and her team are doing there each and every year. Dr. Prosfield, tell us a little bit now that you're moving into the fall semester. This is the 57th year of SCF. You've got some unique things going on, don't you?
We do indeed. Founded in 1957, 57 years. Looking forward to, in 3 short years, to our 60th anniversary. Hopefully we can make something out of that. But right now we're focusing on this year and this fall, and we have some interesting things we're working on. First off, we did start some new academic programs last year and one this year, so we're nurturing those along. One is our biotech program, that hopefully we can talk a little bit more about it in detail. Our entrepreneurial studies program and our new accounting technology program. We're trying to work very hard to make sure we're responsive to the needs of our community and prepare our students as well as we can. So the less exciting things that we're working on this fall, but necessary nonetheless, are our reaffirmation of our accreditation as an institution.
Which is important, which is, a very important. It adds that credibility to the State College and all the work that it does.
It does, but it's one of those activities that brings the entire institution together because it's an in-depth look into everything that we do. So literally everyone at the college has had a role to play in the preparation. The visiting team will be coming in October, so we'll have a chance to host the evaluators on our campus, and we're looking forward to that. But one of the important parts of that is called the Quality Enhancement Plan. The accrediting body asks us to look at our institution and say, what's something that you'd like to do better, or something you'd like to take to the next level? So we put together a group of people a couple of years ago, started conversations, and came to the conclusion that we'd really like to focus on student engagement and success. We think that we can improve student engagement and success through changing the learning environment at the college. And so there are 3 things that we're focusing on. Number 1 is a faculty mentoring program. One of the things that we've learned is when students connect with a faculty member, that's a lasting connection. They make good academic decisions for themselves when they're involved in that kind of an interaction with a faculty member. So we have our faculty preparing and learning how to be those mentors. Second is that we're trying to put together an early alert system. So when we have these first time in college students on the campus and they're finding their way around, they're getting connected with their faculty mentor, but they need additional support or help, we can identify that early on and make sure we get them that support that they need right away. They're not floundering for a week or 2 weeks before we get them connected. And the third is to make sure that they have availability and access to all of the student services that we provide, because they're extensive. But we want to make sure those students understand what they are, how to access them, and use their faculty mentors to help them make that transition. So it's really an exciting program, and
it's pretty extensive when you think about that. And it's all kind of based around a student success.
Exactly.
And I think utilizing those 3 efforts, can only contribute to continued student success. That you don't want a student to fall behind. That you want to create that kind of strong mentorship possibility, access to materials and things. That's all kind of that long view that you want each and every student to be successful.
Exactly, and that's the goal. And our little mantra that we use around it is the QEP, which is Quality Enhancement Plan, R3, the right person, the right place, and the right time. That's
perfect.
The focus.
That's a great little acronym to be using. But the college is is involved in so many things. You talked about the new programs that you're doing. It's very exciting because you're taking a wider look at bringing additional degrees to the college. Why was that important for you?
Well, for a variety of reasons. I think that We have a rich environment of educational opportunities in this area with our technical institutes, with the State College of Florida, with New College, USF, FSU, it goes on and on, Ringling. And to the extent that we can partner together, we can create endless opportunities for students. And so that's what we need to do. And where we have any gaps, where we're not providing something that our employers need, we need to band together and figure out which of us is in the best position to do that.
And how can you help? How can we help to each other?
Exactly, exactly. There aren't enough resources for everybody to do everything, but if we each do our part, then we can create something that's really unique in this area that will serve our community and will serve our students well.
Well, if I can take a moment, I want to talk about one of the programs that you mentioned, which I thought has been a tremendous success at the State College, and that's your biotechnology program. Recently, the college held an open house. It was standing room only. You had a wide variety of students who are in the program, who are out of the program, who are interested in getting into the program. Plus, one of the key things that you had there is that you had employers that were part of the mix who are interested in what SCF is doing to training for future workforce participants.
And I think that's so important to see all of those pieces working together, because to be successful we have to have those partnerships with the employers. They're providing the internships and the apprenticeships for our students. They're also helping to support these programs because they're very expensive, and also providing that support for our faculty as well. And the faculty that we have are just outstanding. Not only are they educating students, but they're inspiring them. I know in the open house, some of those students had the opportunity to speak and share their experiences, and to watch the change in students from when they walk into that class to when they leave makes me realize that our faculty, because they're passionate about teaching, and I say this again and again till I'm sure you're tired of hearing it, they're passionate about teaching, and it's not just transmitting information, it's getting them connected with employers, it's inspiring them about the discipline that they're interested in and helping them along the way. So it's to me, it's what makes my job worthwhile.
And you know, you're out there, you know, in the community as well. You recently attended the BioFlorida conference, you know, at New College, and that partnership was actually, you know, very evident there with people from the State College, from New College, from employers coming together and saying, you know, as a team, we're making efforts. You're training us for those next generation jobs. But one of the things that came out of the biotech thing, which I thought was, you know, was spoken over and over again, which I thought was a really good thing, is that they talked about the caliber and the quality of the equipment that is provided for the biotech thing. And they say, you don't even see this in the workforce, you know, but we're having the opportunity to learn on this equipment that prepares us for those jobs that'll be out there. And I think that's a great indicator for the college to invest in that, you know, for the greater good of all of your students.
It is, and that's one of the things that I need to thank our foundation. The State College of Florida Foundation has been wonderfully supportive in all of our new startup programs. They're the arm there that's working with the community and working with the college to make sure we have that kind of equipment. We want our students to go out into the workplace and be well prepared. Out of that meeting earlier with the BioFlorida, what I thought was wonderfully compelling was a discussion about how students can go from the State College of Florida to New College, to USF to get the PhD, and over to Roskamp, and right in this community. And again, that's something that we have in this area that's unique, and it's everybody's commitment to that that makes it really special.
And I think you fostered a real sense of cooperation with all of the education institutions in this entire area. Partnership with USF and New College and you know, the Ringling, it really has come together, you know, as a partnership, and I think that's due to your leadership, you know, at the State College.
Well, thank you. I have to give a lot of credit to my colleagues at the other institutions
that's
as well.
That's true too.
But I will tell you, one of the goals that we've set for ourselves for this year at the State College is that we will put 25 new partnerships together this year.
It's excellent.
So those will be articulation agreements with those educational partners, agreements with employers for internships or apprenticeships, agreements with various service providers who might be expanding the services that we can offer to our students, but our goal is 25 this year.
And I think that you can easily achieve that, because I think there's people throughout this region and this community that's more than willing to partner with SCF and all the great things that they're doing. We want to move on a little bit, and I want to talk about one of the key things that you talked about on the last program when you were here, and that's the efforts for the new library. Now, during the last legislative session, there was some money that was put aside for the new library for construction. But it's not the entire package. So there's work yet to be done on that. But you're still moving ahead in the efforts to get that new library, which will be a great addition for the campus.
We are, and we received a little less than half of what we need to complete the project through last year's legislative session, and we've been meeting with our local delegation, and I feel that they're very supportive of what we're trying to do. We anticipate getting the other half of that funding this year, but we're also working with some local foundations, because we want to be able to enhance and expand what basic construction might be able to do for us in that facility. You know, in today's world, the idea of a library is so different. Some people think libraries are going to go away because you don't need books anymore. But the reality is, not all books are available in a digital format, and it's going to be many, many years before they are. And buying access to much of those resources is very expensive. So we have to make a value-added decision on what are we going to hold in terms of hard books and what are we going to buy access to. But the real key part of what the Library of the Future, the Learning Center, is creating a space where students learn. And they learn how to use these resources. You know, Wikipedia is not a referenceable source. And it might be a place to start, but it's not a place to end.
It's not the end place.
So there's, plus all the collaborative learning that needs to take place. You know, we hear from employers, students need to be able to communicate, they need to problem solve, they need to have critical thinking skills, they need to work in teams. So we need to create environments where those types of things can happen. We're looking at the kind of technology you would see in James Bond or NCIS, where you can put a whole wall board up of different things that you can bring in electronically and draw connections and do that critical thinking aspect in a team environment. So there's so much that needs to be done.
And which you can access maybe 24 hours a day if you have
Exactly.
So the definition of a library may change from like that staid old definition, but it becomes a part of the campus. It becomes a part of the college environment where it becomes a learning tool. And I think as you work towards that and finding the funding, that college library is going to be an instrumental part of a campus.
It will be, and we're very excited right now because with the first funding that we received, we're able to start the planning process.
Good.
So we look forward to getting input from students, input from a variety of different library experts and designers, and trying to look into the future and come up with something that's going to be interesting.
Well, as part of your work too, I mean, you're always looking out in a kind of a visioning process as well, and one of those key things is looking for next year into the legislative session and finding what are those key things as the college needs to be involved in and that our legislatures need to know that you're concerned about. What would some of those be?
Well, obviously getting the remaining funding for our library, but one of the second things that we've been working on is the idea that we've termed equity funding. When you look at colleges like ours in the state of Florida that are about the same size and about the same program mix, the funding we receive per FTE is about a third less. Our students deserve better than that. And that's just something that happened over evolution of time and political realities of resources going in different areas, but it's time to close that gap. We want to be responsive to the needs of our community. STEM is where we need to be, and those are expensive programs. And we need to make sure that we're giving our students the same opportunities that students anywhere in the state of Florida would have. So we're working hard, lobbying hard to try and find a way to close the gap in that inequity for the state.
Well, the science, technology, engineering, and math, and I think they've even added an A in there to call it STEAM now, arts, and it is very important. It's very important for a community, you know, for a workforce, multiplier type of thing, but it's also important to offer those kind of services to students so those students don't have to go to, you know, another area or another region to find what they're looking for.
And all of our lower divisions television, AS degrees are, well, most of them are workforce related. All of our health sciences, our biotechnology, our nursing, our PT/OT, dental hygiene, radiography, they're all those AS workforce degrees. And all of our baccalaureate degrees by law are workforce degrees. So they're really focused on that initiative of getting students to work. But of course, the major STEM baccalaureate program we have is our nursing program at the baccalaureate level. And
which has been very successful.
Very successful, and we just added another cohort this year, so it's growing. It's a wonderful program.
And you have a beautiful state-of-the-art facility in your Lakewood Ranch campus, that's readily available for people in the entire region to take advantage of, which I think is an important effort.
It's a real important effort, and we do partner with LECOM, who bring their medical students to that facility for some training as well. So it's really, if people haven't been there, you need to go take a look at it. I think one of the most fascinating things to do is to watch the students assess a patient who we can program to have any number of symptoms. We have a mother who gives birth. I mean, and these are all human patient simulators. It's really a remarkable thing to see, and it prepares the students very well for.
And again, a great staff and great faculty that's part of the whole nursing effort that the State College undertakes. Dr. Prosfield, I want to talk a little bit, if I may, about what I would consider one of the key things that the State College has done under your leadership, and that's kind of collaboration, community outreach, community involvement. You were involved last year in getting a grant for a day of service, which really was a remarkable success, and hopefully that'll go on into the future. But why is it important for you and important for the college to have that kind of sense of collaboration and community outreach?
Well, as we started this conversation, we talked about that we're 57 years old. We were founded in 1957. We were founded as a community college. And whether we're Manatee Junior College or Manatee Community College or the State College of Florida, we are a community college. Our mission is open access. Our mission is to provide quality education in this area, but our mission is to meet the needs of our community. And there are many ways that we meet those needs. And being part of that, we have to be part of the fabric of what's going on in our community. And things like the Day of Service are one of those opportunities for us to become integrated with different things that are going on in our community, and to let everybody know what we have here and what we can do to be supportive in our community.
Well, and the State College has really taken the lead on a couple of these things too. I know, just from example, that you or Dr. Mears or people from the college are always at different community events saying, this is what the State College stands for. This is what we want to do. We want to show our flag in participating in somehow, in some manner, with that community, because we're part of this community. And we see you at most events that you're doing, whether it's the New College, BioFlorida, or the Tiger Bays. It's really important for you, for the State College, to just be a part of that fabric of this community.
It is. I think it's important for the community to see me and understand that I value that relationship and that our college values that relationship, but also it's an opportunity for me to be listening to what's going on in our community, because that's how we find out where we need to go next. And the more we can have people at our college out and involved, whether it's Dr. Mears, our faculty, we have our Adopt a High School program where every one of our faculty members are going out to all the high schools in Manatee and Sarasota County. That's how we find out what's going on and what the needs are.
Well, let's talk a little briefly about some of the other great things of the college. Well, one of the great successes of the thing is the Collegiate School, which continues to kind of lead by example. Tell us how the Collegiate School is doing.
No, the Collegiate School is fantastic. 4 years in a row, we have outperformed the region and the state in terms of the test results from our students. We've been an A school since it's been founded, and last year we graduated our first students with both their AA degree and their high school diploma.
Graduation. So.
It was a remarkable moment on Friday night to watch them walk across the stage and get their high school diploma. Or that was Thursday night, and then Friday night get their AA degree.
I know, it was pretty amazing to do the Collegiate School graduation and then see the same young people walk and get their, and you had to be very proud of that.
Very proud, and I think of the over 50 students who graduated, roughly 29 I think took up Florida Gulf Coast University on their scholarship program to go to Florida Gulf Coast, and I thought it was most appropriate that the president, Brad Bradshaw from Florida Gulf Coast University was
What's
at our graduation and was the speaker. So, it
So
was,
how appropriate was that?
yeah.
So we're kind of winding down a little bit, Dr. Prosfield, and the State College continues to look into new degrees and new outreach programs and things. What are the key things that you would like this community and your students and potential students to know about what State College is focused on?
Well, I think it's important to say that, we're committed to that same mission. We're still the one. You may have seen our advertising
That's true,
campaigns,
I
but we are still the one that we've been for 57 years. We're committed to open access. We're committed to high-quality, low-cost education. We're committed to making sure that we are providing what the needs of our community are. And one of the things I've been known to say around campus this year is I want new programs and I want new partnerships because I want to close it to the point where there's no light of day between what our employers need, what our student needs, and what we're able to provide.
And I think that's really appropriate. Those 25 partnerships that you're going to forge together during the course of the year. I love to have you come back and talk about the success of that program, perhaps in the future. Well, Manatee County and the State College Florida is very fortunate to have a woman of your vision and effort and commitment, at the helm of the State College, outreaching to the community, working on student success. And I think those are the key ingredients that continue to the success of the college. So we're very fortunate. And again, seeing earlier the quality and the caliber of your instructors and Robin and Melody, that kind of permeates the entire campus because you have such a high degree of people who want to give back, who are committed to working with students for their success, for their benefit.
Absolutely, and you saw Melody, you've seen Robin, you've become familiar with several of our faculty members. I think anybody in the community wants to know more about us, come on campus. I would love the opportunity to introduce you to our faculty and introduce you to our students because you will be surprised and you will come back. We need to fill those auditoriums when we have those performances because they're that good.
Well, you have so many great things going on at the college, and I would encourage people, if they wanted to find out more about the State College, not only the programs that they offer, but the services that they provide, and how perhaps they can get involved with the State College, either taking some classes or seeing how their children might be able to participate at State College in some capacity. I would encourage people to do that. Again, Dr. Prosfield, thank you so much for joining us, and we would welcome you back at any time to update us on all the great things that are happening at the State College. Again, your leadership and vision and motivation for the student success is a great attributes to have for this community, and we welcome you at any time to come back and talk more about the State College of Florida.
Thank you. I look forward to that.
And thank you for joining us on this special edition of SCF in Studio. I'm Charles Clapsaddle for METV, and we'll see you next time.